Coming at you from Scratchin Wolf Studio, it's that time again to rage across the internet. Your very favorite Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, Porter. To my left, the 6 in 69, Mr. Daniel Tyson.
Oh boy. Hey, everybody. Only afraid to tell. Yep, go ahead, just say it.
Perfectly valid number, sir.
You're right. Just gonna leave it as it is.
And across from me, the guy who won't overact to the thing I'm saying, Mr. Tommy Dixon.
I was waiting for you to say something about 9 over here.
That's what I was too.
Yeah.
That's
subverting expectations, motherfucker.
That's why I was not giving into it. I was like, okay, well, I'll wait.
Right?
Hey, we're here.
Danny made
everybody.
such a big deal that I had to not at that point.
Good.
Way to ruin it.
No, I'm pretty sure I saved it.
No, you ruined it.
It's fine.
Now we don't know what he was going to say.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not.
I'll tell you later, I guess.
Freezing.
Oh, like, yikes. Like I've got this shit planned.
Yeah, I don't see any notes in front of you.
Well, off to a start, as usual.
As usual.
How are we doing, gentlemen?
Great.
It's podcast day.
Hell yeah.
Everyone's favorite day.
Is it?
Better be.
Oh, okay.
You heard it first, man.
It's everybody's.
Tyson will come after you.
Yes.
Gonna bite your ear and everything.
Yep.
What are we here for?
Well, we're here to put on a show.
No, we're not.
Believe it or not, this is a podcast about Werewolf the Apocalypse.
It just takes us that long to figure that out.
However, we choose to start, it's ultimately where we end up. So, hey, it's been a pretty good season so far.
This is the show.
Yeah. Shit. No, podcast day is a great day. And, as usual, we got we're doing a couple today.
Yeah.
But,
As long as they all turn out.
you never know.
It's right.
I mean, I could just freak out on air and start babbling about the monkeys or the, fucking the mole people. I don't know.
That's a normal day. Just edit that out. Nobody knows.
That's true, but yes, thanks to Danny for that. Thank you, Danny.
Hey, you're welcome. I do it again.
How's that store looking?
I may have added some new products. Look, man, shit's been getting crazy. But yeah, we do. Absolutely. We have the store with all the products. New stuff or not, there's some cool stuff on there.
There's always cool stuff in there. It might not be new yet, but...
It's new to you if you buy it.
Always.
Or if you haven't looked, it's all new to you.
That's true. And you can find that, of course, from our website. Which
Rage the internet. .com.
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 That was a fail.
I know. I don't know why you've pushed back on that so hard. Why do you hate fun?
A lot of people like it.
I doubt it.
Danny doesn't like fun, everybody. Ask him why he doesn't like fun. And if you're in our Discord, ask him why he doesn't like fun. And if you're not in our Discord, you can get there through our website, which is rageacrosstheinternet.com.
.com. This is slightly better.
A little better. But from the website, you can get the link to our Discord, and you can come in and hang out with us and with the members of our community. Some great folks there. We talk about werewolf, talk about general bullshit, just have some fun.
World of Darkness. I mean, It's not just werewolf. People talk Draculas. They talk
mages. They talk wraiths.
Yeah.
Wraiths. I'm sticking with that.
There's even Forsaken.
Right. And it's a place you can hang out with us. You can hang out with, because we're there, much as we can be.
As much as we can be, yeah.
Our dear friends. If they've been on air, you can find them in the Discord.
Yes, I would say everyone who's been on our show is in our Discord community.
Just a good place to be. There are games running there. I don't know how open those games are at the moment, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good times, and you should join us. If you want to help us out, we have our Ko-Fi. That's ko-fi.com.
Also on the front page of our website.
And in our show notes.
Yeah. All this stuff is always going to be in the show notes now, so...
It's, if you've got it, the cool thing about Ko-Fi is you can, do a donation of however much you want as a one-time thing, which we're very appreciative of. And we have our membership tiers as well. And if you can't, or you don't want to, we get it. But you can help us out other ways. Rating us, giving us likes, sharing posts. We don't do a whole lot of pod. Mostly it's just our ad posts.
Yeah,
But share it. Get it around. Tell people.
Put a review out.
Yeah.
That stuff helps. It's a big deal. And it's just to circulate.
Yeah. not enough people listen to this show. There's billions of people.
Right.
And most of them don't listen.
Which is unfortunate.
At least a couple 100 million, guys. Come on.
That'd be nice. Wouldn't it? That'd be really nice.
It would be. That's some alternate reality show.
Look at that. Is that a segue?
It was before he stole my thunder. You thief of joy.
Season 3, that's what he is.
I know. All season thus far. He's been like, how can I make Porter's life worse?
How can I take every joke or every great seed of everything and just throw it back in his face?
Right?
That is the producer of season 3.
I've got my notebook.
You know what's really worrying me, though? Because I just do this shit off the cuff, right? So, he's gotten to the point where he sees it coming now. So what's this going to mean when I start storytelling again?
Oh, tinfoil hat Danny comes back.
I think he's just going to have my number, and I'm already not happy about it.
That's when you got to write differently.
Right?
That wouldn't take that much to get around.
You say that, but you keep stealing my stuff. So anyway, speaking of alternate realities, Daniel.
Yes.
That's actually our topic today, is alternate settings in War of the Apocalypse.
It's a fan suggestion.
It is. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, we've been asking for the suggestions, and hey, you know what? Sometimes we like one a little bit more than the others, so we'll kind of push that one up front.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like a light, fun little episode we could do.
Yeah.
Something a little less intensive, because the rest of the shit we're recording today was super intensive in terms of research.
Yeah, there was a lot to read, a lot to handle.
So hey, let's have some fun with this one.
Sure.
So what do you mean by alternate?
Well, anything that varies from the established canon.
So like writing your own canon or twisting the canon?
Little A, little B.
I was going to say, probably a little bit of both. It all depends.
I had a couple ideas jotted down of, there are examples like, what if the White Howlers never fell? Or, in fact, another tribe fell in their stead?
Ooh,
what if the Fianna fell?
What if? We've also got, and these actually came directly from Eric, who gave the suggestion, is what if the War of Rage never happened? What if the Impersium never ended? Here's another one for you. What if the veil didn't exist or was lifted?
Oof.
It's heavy. Those are some very heavy topics.
But that's the thing, is that because of the nature of werewolf, you can set up those alternate scenarios. You could play it in an alternate future. You give it a name, you have options, but...
Oh, there's always options.
Yeah. So I figured let's spend an episode having some fun and speculating, and...
Yeah, and at the same time, I'd love to hear if any of the listeners had, ideas like this, or even ran games like this. What kind of alternate setting do they have, and how did that impact their game?
Certainly. And while we're at it, it doesn't always have to be that necessarily crazy stuff we were talking about. Dark Ages is an alternate scenario. Wild West is an alternate scenario.
Right.
In fact, we know a guy who's running, not only is he running a Wild West game right now, but, he's a friend of the podcast. He's a backer. He a member of the NPC of the Month Club, and that's where that's relevant, is he's taking those NPCs and converting them into Wild West.
Which is so cool to think about.
Right? Shout out to CJ. That's fucking awesome. We love it.
Yeah. Dually in the Wild West.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's right. Badass.
But that guy is so right at home in that setting.
Yeah. That's why I
need all the feedback on this game.
I'm sure we'll hear from him. He's excited to run it. We're excited to hear about it.
Right. I just thought that was a super cool use for the NPC of the month.
Yeah.
Which is our Moon Silver tier on Ko-fi, by the way. Moving on. It's true. It's where you find those.
Yes.
But so, obviously, we plan on doing a Wild West show. We plan on doing a Dark Ages show. So, we don't spend much time on that. Just, those are alternate settings. But
I was going to say, but those are alternate settings, but because they have plans down the road, we're not going to...
Yeah, they have their own books.
Right.
We can, those are later shows.
This is more of a speculation kind of thing. So, out of the suggested settings, which one did you like the most?
Well, I think they all have promise. That's the thing, is I think we spend a little time... And if you guys got any ideas too, obviously.
You can almost go as far as even going with like the apocalypse scenario. Like if this tribe fell or if that tribe fell, we can even do something like that.
Well, that's the thing. The Apocalypse book has there's the chapter on if a tribe falls and it lists
Right.
all of that. But I'm thinking more along the lines of, we go back.
Before that.
Yeah, I'm talking spirals at that point.
Okay.
The White Howlers didn't fall, but maybe someone else did.
I mean, judging on location, that's only 3 other tribes. That could be it.
Well, yeah,
Unless you change up the location on where it is.
which if we're doing this, you can.
Yeah, you can do anything you want.
I mean, at that point, it's what version do you want? Is it did they never go up in Scotland? Did they go somewhere else? Did they pop up in Germany? Did they pop up, or were they defeated? And the White Howlers managed to seal that portal and save themselves.
Or twist the lore so much and you have Farah that become it.
That's possible too. And
I
that's
like
the thing.
that idea.
And let's sit with that for a second. So who do you think of the Farah turn to the worm?
Bunyip. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
It's like a thanks for listening to the podcast scenario here.
Just kidding. I was guess.
Just the best at, full stop? Or a tribe?
No, it'd be all of the best at.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Sheer numbers.
Just because you want?
Just because I want and sheer numbers.
Okay.
Just because I want.
I mean, that's a good enough reason if you're making an alternate scenario. Whatever you want to happen is what happens.
It's not a deep thought yet. I just threw that out there so I'd have to ponder, but...
See, I'd figure a tribe.
I'd instantly go with Bastet, though, and all of the tribes, because obviously when some of the tribes are being taken out or one's being taken out, they're going to converge on it, and then they all get taken out.
Yeah, but there's not so much a Bastet nation like there is a Garter nation.
It's fair.
Yeah, you remember the Bastet tribes, most of them don't like each other.
Yeah, most said they worked well with each other.
And yeah.
And they said...
but you don't have cairns full of Bastet of all shapes and sizes, and they're so far spread out, and they don't run in packs.
Well,
I'm not saying it can't happen.
That's not a good one, then.
I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm saying if I were to do that, I would do like a tribe. This way, if they have like a moot or something, you could grab, say, all the Simba, theoretically.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Theoretically, I'd probably go for the Ajava.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see why.
I mean, we think about it, right? They had that big moot. They're going to fight against Blacktooth and take out, fight the Simba. And then, it was a trap. The Simba to their Yava, remember? And they fucked them all up.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're few in numbers. They're angry. They're bitter.
And
maybe through that they end up falling to the worm.
Easily corruptible.
At which point their numbers will probably swell because that's what happened with the spirals.
Mm-hmm.
They go underground, they bide their time, they build their numbers, they steal whoever they need to breed.
Keyword being steal.
Right? And then I like that idea of, the evil were-hyenas.
Compared to the rest of the Bastet.
Right?
That's cool.
I mean, just spitballing here.
No,
but if we're going Bastet, I'd go Ajava.
I wouldn't go Bastet, though.
Where would you go?
I'd go Grandor.
Well, Grandor... Okay. I was going to go, Grandor already dead, damn it. But no, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah,
You're
we're
right.
doing what we want. They're the ones who are, essentially eating that corruption to try and get rid of it. Maybe they went and bit off more than they could chew.
Literally.
Danny made a joke.
Doing that all season.
Don't like him anymore.
Jokes on you. I'm going to take your laugh and emphasize that entire thing.
No, you're not.
You're right. I probably have no clue how to do that.
Yeah, you're not going to take the time
No.
to do that.
I don't have that kind of time, no.
I mean, I guess I see where you're coming from.
It's just, that's the first thought in my head. If we're going, a Farah is what's falling rather than the Howlers.
I mean, I have a hard time with that because I think if the Grunders survived the War of Rage,
Mm-hmm.
then they would be the last fucking people to fall because they were made by Gaia to be able to take that. But I get where you're coming from, and I get like the Grunders so much. It's just like
I know you do, but and yes, it was a joke, but that's why I said, but maybe they did. They bit off more than they can chew.
Well, and again, that's the thing is I can't go, no, you're wrong, you suck.
You just did.
Right now, because it is just speculation and we are just making shit up. So,
Were spiders.
Why though?
Pulling the Weaver into this. Trying to get the Weaver in them. I don't know.
Okay.
Trying to get the boon of the Weaver along with them.
Well, I mean, at that point, I could see, you got that Scar scenario going.
Mm-hmm.
That Weaver with the worm infecting the influence. I could see it.
Trying to save Weaver, and again, too much for them to handle, and they get corrupted.
Yeah, however it happens. But I mean, if we're at that point creating, quote, alternate Black Spiral Dancers.
Mm-hmm. Quote unquote, yeah, it would be something different.
Right. You'd want to, let's make it different. Let's not make it.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Well, and I mean, even then, like, if you were going to go Garu also,
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought about this a little bit. Because the smart one, you go the Get a Fenris. Because, like the White Howlers, they would be...
Headstrong, jump right in.
Right. Or the Red Talons. Because, I'm going to go the other way. Stargazers.
The last ones you'd think of.
Not, and that's not why. Because it makes sense. How they cannot resist a mystery.
That's to say, learning a thing. They can't resist that. They want to go in there and get the secrets.
Right. So if they're the ones who discovered this portal that leads to Malphys and this Temple Obscura and this great mystery, this great riddle, they would have to solve it. They'd be obsessed with it.
Damn it.
And then, right, we assume that they have already learned, perfected Kylindo, created Kylindo by the time this happens. So now not only do you have a tribe of, still you have the Black Spiral Dancers, but now you have the Black Spiral Dancers who are the sole users of Kylindo.
Oh,
You are fucked!
You just created a society of ninja spirals.
It sounds so cool.
Apocalypse comes much faster.
I kind of think it does.
Yeah.
And being Stargazers still, they're still going to hold true to that a little bit, even though they become spirals, but they're going to gain more and more knowledge down there.
Right? And I think, their approach to things is going to be a lot different. The way that madness comes about, I think, is going to be a lot different.
Yeah.
You're going to get the quote, evil genius rather than the
exactly what I was
slabbering.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's not going to be so much madness as it is evil genius.
And like you can go, the Stargazers are the smallest tribe, but once upon a time the Spirals were the smallest tribe. So again,
Until they learn how to manufacture their own.
They beg, borrow, and bang their own people, the 3Bs.
And we're calling that now.
Yep.
I am not above creating a different set of 3Bs for every show this year. Don't fuck with me.
Okay, then.
I'm not above it.
This season, you did it last season too.
Not every episode.
Not every. Okay, fine.
Don't challenge me here.
Bats, burgers, bacon.
Just the 3Bs.
I'm just trying to think of other ones, but we'll be here all day.
Beg, borrow, and bang, and...
If you guys could see his face right now.
Okay.
They can't see us. That's the point.
It's a good thing.
Yikes, right?
I like the Stargazers, but if we're going to go with Garu again, what if...
The Stargazers are Garu.
Yes, but pick another tribe.
Well, like I said, Fianna. I'm just trying to stick with, it's still kind of in Scotland. So let's get the main four there.
No, I get what you're saying.
I don't want to, I'd like twisting it, the alternate reality, but I don't want to twist it too much to where you get in over your head.
Well, and here becomes the problem, though, is you're already doing that. Because now you have to rewrite history from, 200 AD. And actually,
but that's
before
if you
that...
play the current game in the current time setting. You could always go back to, you're playing it at 400 AD, but these are the ones that fell.
But, I mean, even then, that's a couple hundred years of altered history. It's a big deal at that point, because you have to rewrite fucking history.
That's a lot of writing.
And that's kind of the point. And we're almost in over our heads as soon as we started this episode, if we're going that far.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you'd have to rewrite everything. No matter what situation we can come up with, everything will have to be rewritten.
It's a good thing we don't write the episodes.
Right? And we're not running these scenarios.
Yeah.
They're cool to think about, though.
Which is why we're doing it, yeah. I mean, I like the idea. I like the Ajaba idea. I like the Ananasi idea. They're neat ideas.
Yeah, you don't have to rewrite the entire Garu history, just some of it.
But I'm still stuck in the Fianna part, because then you get that connection with the Fae.
Oh, okay. Now I see where you're going with this.
That'd
That's
be
why
mean.
I'm saying if the Fianna fell with the connection with the Fae and all their kinfolk.
Would you corrupt the Fae, too?
I think a bit you do. I think you fracture that whole area, for lack of a better term. Right
Or
now.
if not, the Fae that are very loyal to them follow with.
And that's
Look at what happened
I'm
with the
asking.
White Howler totems.
Right. Half of them did fall with. So,
Right? So, yeah, I think you do some serious damage to the Fae at that point. I can consider that's a good point.
I was
And
trying
again-
to see the angle you're going with it, and yeah, the Fae, that makes sense. That's cool.
And it makes a stronger enemy.
very, very strong enemy.
Not only is it a new enemy, but it's also a new enemy's ally.
Or if not, they become a different portion of the spiral? I don't know.
However,
Stronger for more.
yeah, however that works out. You know, I mean, the Fae aren't super friendly in the first place. I mean, I'm not overly familiar, with the whole changeling side of things, but I mean, we know in traditional lore that fairies aren't Tinkerbell.
No.
If you're thinking fairies and you're thinking Tinkerbell, you are, nope.
Massively incorrect.
Yeah, you're going to be misinformed.
They're assholes.
Yep.
What if you took someone who's a little close to the other side, like the Glasswalkers? Maybe a little too close to a Weaver there.
Well, I was going to say, there you go. There's another option is what if you run a scenario where, say, the Glasswalkers fall to the Weaver?
Oh, so not even falling to the worm.
No, fuck the worm at that point.
Well,
They got
at
their own
200
thing.
AD, Glasswalkers aren't that big yet.
No, but we're not talking then at that point. I mean,
Yeah,
this could have happened in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Now
Or-
we're switching
Well, no,
situations.
now you're switching situations.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just-
Yeah.
He was trying to do the worm aspect of it. I'm like, I kind of don't see that.
Well, I was
Right.
thinking the spiral part of it. Who becomes the new spirals? But like that, I'm kind of switching gears.
I like that. The Glasswalkers falling to the Weaver.
Right? Maybe at the start of like the .com boom,
The internet. Yeah, oh, yeah.
that was the turning point. And now you have these Garu. And people, this is a little bit of a tangent, I apologize.
That's fine.
But I am not sorry.
That's what we do
So
here.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. You look at the worm. I mean, obviously, guys, we just got off a big worm kick. And, we talk about the urges and the Meljan and Karna in the various, I'm going to say hierarchies.
I was about to say, it's a
Yes.
big hierarchy there.
Yeah, like it's like multiple ones at that point because you got the triadic worm and all that. But nowhere is any kind of structure detailed for the Weaver. And that has always irked me.
Which doesn't make sense for how precise and structure the Weaver is.
Thank you. Like what the Weaver, and you could go, well, the Weaver handles it all itself. And that's an acceptable answer, I
Sounds
suppose.
cop-outish, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would love to see like a new book of the Weaver, and I don't. Fine, where you detail, where's the Weaver's number 2, and you go, well, the Weaver doesn't need a number 2. Well, maybe that's true, but isn't it more interesting if he has one? She has one, and then there are hierarchies. I mean, like you look at a computer, right? You have the motherboard. Okay, well, that's the Weaver. But you still need processors, a graphics card, and a sound card, and some fans in there. You still need other components, right?
And nowadays, it's multiple processors, not just one.
Right, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Though. I'm not building a PC for us here. That's not this episode.
But you could twist it with this Weaver stuff and make
Yeah.
it as like you're building a PC. I like that.
Right, and so like each component could be a different, whatever its version of a Meljan and Karna would be, or an Urge or something. Its armies would have different generals who are maybe in charge of different aspects in completing the Weaver's goals.
We're going in somewhere I've not researched nearly enough.
Well, there's nothing on it.
I know.
There's
I
not
mean, there's
much on
like
it.
nothing.
So I think this kind of falls under alternate scenario because nothing's fucking laid out. But
So hear me
So
this.
everything's an alternate scenario at this point.
I mean,
Always, yes. But hear this. Maybe the Glasswalkers were trying to figure that out, and they got too close. And that's what's made them fall. Because they were
They
looking
became
for...
the processors.
maybe
That's
there you
what I
go.
was getting at, yeah.
And you see, you weren't
Sorry.
far where I was. You weren't far from where I was going with it either, because you go, well, aren't the Garu a little unpredictable? Aren't
Yeah.
having forces? Well, okay, but let's look at the Scar, a Weaver realm that got wormed up.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say one of these processors, if you will, we're going to call that's just their version of Meljan and Karna for the sake of this fucking sentence.
Just for the sake of the sentence. Yeah, sake of argument, this is where we went for
This
it.
is what we're going to call it for ease, right?
Sure.
That one of these processors got wormed up, and he's the one, or it's the one, or whatever you want to.
Yeah.
They
Doesn't
went after the Glasswalkers and corrupted them, and said, "Well, no, this is going to help our cause because we can pit them against our unpredictable enemies. They'll be loyal to the Weaver, but they'll still have that that spark inside them that can be unpredictable and can adapt. And
It's fucking awesome. I love
And
this
then you
one.
get the Weaver's Webs, and oh, jeez.
all of a sudden, you've got a whole tribe of Teeth of Titanium. Fucking Terminator wolves. Just cyber fetishing themselves up, converting their bodies like crazy. Give it a name.
That would be badass.
all I'm picturing is Terminator.
I was gonna say, imagine a Krynos with like the gift that makes him liquid metal, like the T-1000.
No.
How fucking cool is that?
So
You know where Mount Doom is, so you can melt them.
Just take him to Erebus.
Yeah.
He'll absorb it.
He'll absorb it.
Yeah, because that's silver. He'll absorb it.
I can see that.
Nicely done on that one. I think that's a very, very bad day if that's what our scenario ends up being.
I mean, you're writing the death of the characters for sure.
Oh yeah, but neat new scenario, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's something you could just add to your game. Honestly, that's something you could have happen in the future. But I mean, it's where we got here from the spiral thing. So it
Yeah.
looks,
Well, then we go with the Black Furies falling to the wild.
I mean, you could do that. I mean, there's a little bit the start of that with the illness, whose name escapes me right now.
Yeah, me too. But that's exactly what I was thinking, was that maybe that scenario you're about to write, that illness is just, it's too far gone. It's spreading too fast.
Like, how do you work that, though?
I don't know. I am not a storyteller, but...
Because, like, the first thing I think is that, like, they can't really control their transformations.
Okay.
Like, they would be in a state of flux all the time, and I can't see that helping anything.
They're constantly going through their forms.
Right, and, like, maybe parts of them.
Ooh.
So, like, your right leg just turns to lupus. Right.
Just fall over.
Yeah, and, like, I don't see how that's helpful. I mean, it's the wild, so maybe...
It's random chaos.
Right, but, like, I don't... Yikes. I don't think that's threatening.
Eventually, though.
Situationally.
Sure,
Like they're in
but-
Krynos and they're jumping at you, but their head turns back into Hamid halfway through because they can't control it.
Well, then now it's just a freak show.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know how effective that's going to be ultimately. Bad idea, Wild. Get another plan.
It's still scary.
The less threatening of the three, though.
It's weird, definitely. Or maybe they do like a Buona Beast thing. You guys know Buona Beast? This is like a CD-list DC superhero. But I love this guy. He has the power to merge two animals together.
What's the point?
Being weird. He's chasing a criminal, and they're getting away, and he's like, crap. And he's like, oh, well, there's a pigeon, and there's a dog. I'm going to merge them together and ride this flying pigeon dog after the criminal. That's a power.
That's his power.
It's so weird.
Almost as good as talking to fish.
I think it's better and creepier. And
That's
that gives
true.
it better value, frankly. That's why I love it.
2 for 2.
It's so weird. But maybe that's it,
He could have replaced Aquaman.
He's like, hey, here's some Macaulay and here's some Ananasi. Spiderdiles, let's go.
It's awesome.
Oh, dude, Spiderdiles. Think about that for a second.
No, I'm not. That is just creepy.
That is what was in my heart, and I am
thought
super into it.
I just thought of the crocodile, and he's got the tiny little legs and feet, but there's like 12 of them.
See, I'm thinking the giant spider legs, crocodile-sized spider legs.
With 9 eyes.
Yeah,
No.
and it's got all the eyes.
No.
And like it can spit webs.
The more I picture this, the worse it gets.
That's the point.
Anacole, dude. I'm into it.
Anacole. Gross.
How did we get to that?
That might be the name of the episode, Wrath of the Spiderdiles. It's not, but it's fun to say.
It'll be like the subtitle.
I'm down with that. Alternate settings, Wrath of the Spiderdiles.
All right,
It's
write that one
definitely
down.
going into my Twitter announcement. Which, hey, yeah, there's another way to reach us.
Yes,
That just not gets talked about at all.
that's true. We do have our social media. At Rage Across Internet on Facebook. I feel like there's a third one.
There's our YouTube.
Yes, there is. There's our YouTube. And our email, rageacrosspodcast@gmail.com. That one's different, so you got to say the whole
That
thing.
one hasn't been mentioned in quite a long time.
Oh, We still had it. We just...
It hasn't had many hits, I bet.
Oops.
Sure, it's in the show notes, though.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Always in the show notes.
Look at this producer. Producing
Spiderdiles.
Told you.
How did you spell it?
IT.
Just pumps the brakes.
He's no fun.
I know.
He has to have all the jokes and then be no fun when we
Right.
crack them. It's just, I don't like this new version of him.
Sitting there with this fucking
New
monocle.
version? I'm still the same old Danny.
It's the monocle, dude. Ever
it
since he
is.
got that thing.
The monocle. Don't take my
He
monocle.
can't breathe poor people there all of a sudden. He's going to take all
He's
our
Mr.
fun.
Peanut.
I heard the P sound and thought you were going elsewhere.
Alright, so the War of Rage didn't happen.
Yeah, we can do that one.
I figured we messed around on that subject enough.
No, good call.
So unless you still had something.
No. Let's go. War Rage doesn't happen. Or hasn't happened.
It just doesn't.
No,
I
that's
like
how I see it. It hasn't happened. To me, it's getting ready to, though. Everyone still doesn't like each other.
Well, that's fair.
Like I could see the merit in that. Living in doing a modern day game where the War of Rage never happened. So all the fair are still out there. They all are aware of each other.
Mm-hmm.
They've all been doing their jobs, but shit's just about to pop off.
Yeah. Everyone's on their last fucking straw with the other of the Farah or the other of the Changers.
I like that idea. I'm going to say that has staggering implications because how do you do a War of Rage modern day without completely fucking up the Veil?
Oh, the veil would be gone. There's
Right.
no way.
Well, that's why I'm thinking. Like, the Veil is the only thing keeping this from boiling over.
Wolves in space. You're changing breeds in space.
So yeah, you can, and that idea at that point is you're at the ground floor when it all pops off.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's some interesting shit to me. I mean, that's some world rocking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
so
Now-
no War of Rage, certain tribes still exist.
Everyone's still around.
Yeah.
And see, I think
Well,
this.
I still lose Croton. You still lose.
Do you? Do you?
Well, eat our souls.
Right? Does it get that far with the Gronder there?
Oh,
Yeah. If everyone's still there.
sorry. Some fair, just forget about them.
No, that's fair, but I mean that's kind of my point. Is I think of these alternate scenarios we're talking about, we're looking at. This is probably the best one in terms of everyone doing their job and Gaia being in good shape.
Oh.
I would
Who says they
speculate.
do their job? Because with the growth, some of them just probably start fucking off more.
Maybe, but again, with everyone there to do their original part, and
Some of
without
those original parts are the same thing though as others.
well, others have taken over some of those roles certainly.
Okay.
But think about it. Now you don't have you have the Kamazals and the Korax, and because no one's like afraid and hiding from each other, and no one's actively killing each other, right? The girl can go up to that Garusept and go, guys, we got a problem over here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Instead of I'm going to hide forever and hope they don't find me, it's we can work together. Sure, there'll be problems here and there, of course.
Yeah, in theory, this can still happen.
Yeah, but there could still be people working together. And then you have the Gronder who eat fucking one taint. That's what they do. So who's to say that the Black Spiral Dancers ever existed for more than like an hour and a half? Maybe they're a footnote in history. You have races like the Grondor, and maybe you get some Gurhal with you.
Holy shit.
And he
Yes.
goes, what up, wormwolves?
So the Howlers fall. And
They might not.
They
fall.
might not even
Well,
fall.
here's my thinking though.
Because
Howlers do
you
fall.
can call on the Grondor to help out. I mean, the White
But-
Howlers can call on more than just the 4 tribes.
But if we
near them.
remember with the Howlers, they went in because nobody came and
there
helped
was only
them.
4 tribes they could ask. I mean,
And at the same right, no, you're right. But at the same time, you got to remember is that with the Howlers, they had generations of corruption behind the scenes they didn't fucking know about.
Mm-hmm.
You throw a Sonder of Gronder. Wow, I just said that out loud.
Perfect.
And over in Caledonia, maybe that never happens. They root out that corruption and eat it before it destroys the fucking Picts entirely.
Yes. I
mean, again, speculation. It can go every
Right.
way, so go ahead.
I was thinking that the years of corruption behind them still happens. They still fall. and Gurhal, Ronder, maybe even other Garu show up to try and fix it, but they're too late. So there's still the fall, but as the spirals are coming out, they're taken care of immediately. And again, just a footnote.
And that's...
I mean, it's probably exactly how it would be, because there's not many spirals when, obviously, the fall happens. They they regress back in and build their numbers.
Yeah, we know they go into hiding. They spend a lot of time building their numbers. But again, if you have a race of shifters who could specifically ferret that shit out and purify it, how long does that last?
I mean, how long do certain pieces of Malpheus even last at that point? If they're rooting it all out, well, you can get to the Temple Obscure and stop that. And
theoretically, at least. I think at that point, if you play that game, that War Rage never happened, and you get to modern day, the Weaver is the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's clear to everyone, because the worm has never gotten to the point where it's at today.
Oh, by
And then the Glasswalkers look like they're bad.
Yeah.
I can see that tribe
and look at that combination of all of those things happening.
And I can see that tribe falling because of that.
Quite possibly. There you go.
So then
which works
either change your ways or we're coming for you.
So all those combinations just happened at once.
Kind of.
Oh, fuck yeah, it did.
Alternate setting.
I mean, it's a very different world, but it's also not. Like, on the spiritual side, it's a very different world. It's
It's still taking all the lore and just slightly twisting it.
Yep.
Damn.
Alternate settings can be fun, dude.
There's a lot of speculation there. Let's throw another random one out here.
All right, well, we got, with the Impertium never ended.
Never ended.
Never ended.
So are there any humans left?
Well, there would have to be. Because the idea wasn't kill all the humans, it was control their numbers.
So they're just keeping them controlled.
Yeah, so again, what would happen is we would be living in fucking like Amish villages.
Would the expansion even happen?
As far as they would allow it. I'm thinking we essentially are all living the Amish lifestyle in that situation. The Weaver's not a problem. Because we have never been allowed to advance that far.
I like that. I mean, I don't like that. That sucks, but
I still
like
don't
that
see
idea.
expansion happening, though. I see it still being stuck on the one mix of continents. That North America never gets bothered. So that tribe over there stays alone. I don't know. I'm just speculating here, but I just don't see the expansion happening. Columbus wouldn't happen, so we wouldn't even know about the other side.
I mean, that's possible. I mean, it goes in, and when I say like Amish, I'm talking about our level of technology. Because that would be there would still be people,
but there wouldn't be massive boats,
right? There wouldn't be planes. There wouldn't be skyscrapers. I mean, I don't think we would have hit the medieval era. I think we'd have villages with maybe wooden or perhaps stone fences surrounding them.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow steel.
Yeah, we'd be D&D world, Amishville, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
But my house is straw. My house is the third pig doesn't exist. There's no brick house.
Mate.
She's a brick
house.
You can't just roll your eyes. You have to react.
I'm not. You're not getting anything out of me on that one.
Let it all
I was just helping you get the reference.
Thanks.
Don't bring that. I'm not responsible for this. I was just the translator.
Translator, you helped.
You started it, and I explained it to him.
You still helped.
I helped him understand.
Young guy. It was not my music.
You're welcome.
But yeah, again, I think that's I think that game, the Weaver is not a problem.
No,
obviously,
it's definitely kept at bay.
Yeah, because the Garu aren't going to let. There ain't no internet.
No,
internet didn't kill the video star, which did not kill the radio star because there wasn't no fucking radio.
It's gonna be another one of those episodes.
So
hey, at least you got that reference. Jesus.
Yeah, that's older than Brickhouse.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Say.
You liar.
That's a better one, though.
That's true.
Besides the point.
No, it's not.
Weaver's kept at bay.
The worm is less of a problem also.
So does that make the wild a problem?
No.
No, in fact, I wonder if...
Maybe that's absolute balance?
Maybe that's the game at that point. Because...
There is no game at that point.
Well, the apocalypse isn't looming nigh. Because the Weaver and Worm are largely in check.
Uh-huh.
Everything's not okay. The Worm is still you know. But the predominant problem now becomes territorial and kin disputes between the various tribes of the nation, which perhaps might allow them to ignore the looming threat of the worm that's kind of growing because they're resting on their laurels because shit's so easy right now.
Mm.
And if expansion didn't happen, all the worm could be tainting other continents.
It could be. You never know.
I like that too.
Bunny would probably still be around.
Oh yeah, yeah, they would.
Croton are gone.
Yeah, I think that would have to be
Yeah.
the case.
And, I don't know about the Howlers.
You call the numbers, the Roman lore, all that stuff that...
But if they don't develop steel,
Right.
if they're not allowed to progress that far, is there a Holy Roman Empire?
Mm-mm.
So there's,
And you're keeping the numbers cold, so yeah, that would not happen.
all right. In fact, you don't get the Eater of Souls in the Croton either. Because there's no worm comers. Because ain't no one got a ship that's going to sail across the world.
Damn.
You wouldn't even know about the Croton at that point.
Right. There's memories because of stories, but that's
Right.
about the extent of it. Shit.
I know we're forgetting about that Great Ice Age, and you can actually walk to the North America, but...
But, yeah, there was the Bering Straits, certainly. But that stopped at a point, so... how you want to think about it? The further implication that of never stopping the incursion, of keeping humans like that goes really far. That says something for the population of leeches. There's an implication about the state of mages.
I didn't even think about going that far.
Would there
Okay.
even be mages?
I would imagine because
Or would they just be like Wiccans? You like that one?
no, but I could see them being like village shaman and shit like that, or maybe.
That's what I mean by Wiccans.
Oh, okay.
Real Wiccans. Do your research.
Oh.
Well, that's your fault for not understanding that.
No, so there's all that. That's far-reaching at that point.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a very, very different game.
Can you even call it a game?
Well, I think
You can
it's
call
like...
anything a game.
I get it, but it'd be kind of boring.
No.
Well, it depends on how. Well, that depends. That's your storyteller's fault.
Yeah.
Fair.
I see it as they're trying to keep that balance. And once one goes a little too far, they focus on that one. And then the other two have a chance to jump, I don't know, whatever the case. But
Well, I think at that point what you do is you have the tribes as almost kingdoms. That they're breaking their territory down. So you have, here's the Shadow Lord territory, here's the Silver Fang territory. And at that point, I think the idea of a mixed tribe pack is probably out, or a rarity for a very special purpose.
I was thinking special purpose.
Like from Gaia kind of thing. But it becomes about territorial disputes between tribes, and maybe, again, it's the hidden threat of the worm. Because it hasn't been a problem, and, the worm isn't always... so overt.
Not even territorial, it's also kinfolk dispute.
Right?
Over the numbers of the people you control.
Exactly. But then behind the scenes, the worm is working its corruption, in subtler ways that aren't giant tentacle monsters. Right? And now what the fuck's going on? And maybe you deal with a Gyro Nation who's ill-prepared to deal with it because they've had things so fucking easy for so long.
Ooh.
Could see that for sure.
I almost think of the different houses from Game of Thrones, and being the different tribes, being a different house.
I see what you're saying.
Everyone fighting for power.
Yeah, power, territory, kinfolk. And then suddenly a Thunderworm pops up in Fianna territory, but they haven't seen one ever. So what the fuck is this?
It's a 6-footer, an 8-footer.
Well, we'll just say the real thing, full-on Tremors.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's cool.
Or the ones from Dune.
Or the ones from Dune. Or Beetlejuice. What do you do when you've never had to fight? Think about that too. Because this has been going on for so long. You have generations of Garu who are spoiled fucking lazy. It's not even, I don't know what to do because I've never had to fight one of these. It's what do I do because I've never had to fight.
The most they've had to do is break up scuffles from kinfolk.
Right? Kill grandma because, you got to keep the numbers up.
Territorial disputes, you're still fighting.
Maybe.
What else are they going to do? They have rage. I still see that happening.
Yeah, but they don't have the weaponry anymore.
Well, they still have Fang and Claw.
Fang and Claw,
but
yes.
But how often does that stuff happen? And even
a lot
then,
less often.
quite possibly. But then how...
Or quite possibly more often.
Yeah. But at the same time, they're used to fighting, at that point, another dude. Right? Because also, we're both Garu. It's the same dude. Right? Mm-hmm. Again, and then you see, like, your first Famor in, like, 4 generations. You want to make an analogy to a show, look at Attack on Titan. All of a sudden, these fuckers break through the wall, everyone loses their goddamn mind.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so you have generations.
Yeah, because you've been told stories of this for how long,
right?
But you've never actually seen it.
Generations of fucking Garu who have never had to fight the worm. And all of a sudden the worm's been in the background biding its time, figuring shit out, corrupting on the sly, and then boom, it hits. You don't know what the fuck to do.
And you all die.
A lot of you. I like that one. That's a good one.
That was kind of fun.
That was fun.
Yeah, that one places I didn't
With the Impersium, does the War of Rage even happen? I mean, if you're still holding those numbers.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. The Impersium was paused because of the War of Rage. Maybe the implication there is the War of Rage didn't happen. Or maybe it did. Maybe that's the main threat.
That's still
Quote,
going.
The threat.
Yeah.
And since that ended all those years ago, maybe you have hunting parties looking for girl that are sleeping. Which, class move, guys. But again, if that's the the big threat is today we're going to hunt Kitsune. They can't heal anyways.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fox hunt. Yeah, that's where I went.
I get it. It's awesome. Dick move.
Well, certainly. But again, I'm thinking this is a scenario where the girl, like, they just spoiled fucking lazy. And then are ripe for a reckoning. And that would be the interest of the game, I think. Is when that shoe drops and they're so ill-prepared.
That's good.
I like it.
Yeah, that went better places than I thought it would, honestly.
Alright, so how about another situation? How about something like Anthelios Never Rises?
Well, that's just 2nd edition, dude.
No, I was going to say never mind. We can't do that because...
That's just World 20 at that point.
Yeah, I was going to say, forget that one then. I was just what popped in my head, but... Alright.
Aunt Luna gets corrupted.
That's weird.
Right.
Yeah, how...
I don't know. I just threw it out there. Trying to get his wheels turning on that one.
Well, if Aunt Luna gets corrupted, does that make the Garu Nation corrupted altogether?
No. But let's spin that a little.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily... What if it's not necessarily corrupted, but just turns on Gaia? Aunt Luna's pissed at Gaia now, and we're going to fight. And this presents a scenario, and I mean, this is like an apocalypse scenario.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I was picturing.
Because if
apocalypse.
we know if we alter the moon's orbit, that fucks with the planet pretty severely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I would have to imagine that's Luna's first salvo. It's like she jukes left, and suddenly, like, cities are engulfed by the tides. Like, I just imagine that's opening salvo, right?
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So, how do you do that? How do you... Stopping the moon is akin to stopping Gaia. I mean, how do you kill the planet?
Put it to sleep.
Do you have Rory throw a rock at it?
Or that.
I mean, you need a new moon, but...
The rock he throws becomes the new moon.
Quite possibly.
Would that be funny and cool?
Yeah, that
but like,
doesn't solve the problem.
Oh, it doesn't.
No,
You
it
can
would...
still go off that, though, because I'm thinking more of the intolerance
Intolerance of what?
to silver. Because if essentially Luna's turned on you, right? You don't have that...
Why do you think that's the case?
I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. You have that...
We're Gaia's warriors. She turns, so we lose her boon. Are we weak to silver anymore?
Yeah, I don't see why that changes.
Okay.
You don't lose your gifts if you're kicked out of a tribe.
True.
It's just part of who you are. I don't think that goes away at all.
Okay.
What do you do if Luna turns?
What do you do if any planetary incarnate turns?
Well, mostly not give a shit, but Luna's a bigger deal.
Do you turn to Helios and ask for help?
That strikes me as a terrible idea, though.
Right, but what other options do you have?
Well, what's the sun going to do? You going to talk Helios into leaving its orbit and going over and eating Luna? Guess what? We're pretty close to her. If the
We
sun
die.
gets closer to us,
We fry.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't see how that helps.
Okay. Just thinking.
Like I get the compulsion to go, oh well, Helios can help us because he's powerful too. He can help too. But again, what's he gonna do? Nothing that won't fuck the Earth.
I mean, if Luna turns, Gaia falls regardless. Luna's keeping Gaia kind of in check. Or at least Earth's Gaia. Space.
Yeah, no,
Phoebe.
I know.
I mean, you pretty much lose the Earth.
It's a fucked up scenario. And I mean, at that point, is it all of Luna? Is it aspects of Luna?
See, yeah, it had to be aspects. It can't just be Luna.
And I guess at that point it becomes probably really janked up in terms of the Umbra and the probably the Ethereal realm too. Because at that point, yeah, you would have to try to seal Luna away to get that spirit fucking dormant, so she's not actively working to destroy everything because she just could.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Good.
Hey, Weaver, come help us out.
It's
Tie her up.
something. God, that's a fucking wild scenario.
Yeah, that one's weird.
Prick.
Sorry. We were stuck on that one for a minute.
No, that's it's good. That's fucking
That's why we're here.
yeah.
That one
You a
has-
little bit got me stumped on that one. That's fucking bad news bears.
I have a feeling
Crazy Aunt Luna, man.
That's true.
Everything on this entire list here is kind of bad news bears.
Oh, there's some really cool shit on here.
I
We
know.
already had a really cool one. No War Rage. That was awesome.
I'm not saying that they're not cool. I'm just saying I think everything on the list is kind of bad news bears. Everything changes.
That could be good news.
True.
It's a different scenario news either way.
It's just different bad news.
I did. I've talked about it. I did that Umbral 4-parter. We did the dessert thing, the alternate, the pocket realm that was an alternate future.
That one's cool.
So maybe bring that up.
Sure.
Again, for those of you who missed it, once upon a time in the Virginia Games, I ran a Umbral 4-parter, and the last part, they ended up in a Umbral Pocket Realm that was allegedly 20 years in their future during the apocalypse, which I foresee more as an ongoing thing and not just like a one and done kind of, boom, it's here and you're screwed. But like a process.
Not like a nuke going off.
Right. I had there where, eventually the remaining shifters had all kind of come together out of necessity. When there are 5 Bastet left. Yeah, I guess it's time to give the Garu a chance. Maybe we can work together now.
I guess.
I still hate you, but enough's enough. There's just 12 of us.
Yeah, we need to survive.
We'll stick together. So you have like your Farah coalition. You've got your European Garu. You've got your American Garu. And it's almost that's it.
Probably a couple stragglers here and there, but
Right, but like ultimately,
that's it, yeah.
yeah, the idea that, like the sun as we know it,
It's about to explode.
no, it's just not something like people have known for the last 10 years. Like the chemicals and shit up in the air, and it's like we look out with a clear day and like a nice bright sun, and you get into that shit. It's all smog infected, and the colors, the chemicals in the sky have just changed the color of the fucking sun.
Oh, shit.
So you've got this last crop of Garu who grew up hearing stories about like a warm summer's day, like last August. And they're like, dude, I've never seen that sun. What the fuck are you talking about?
They didn't travel far enough in the Umbra.
Something, Umbra. I mean, Helios, but that's not the same thing, and we all know it. Like I broke the glass walkers apart. They still exist.
It's like, as in all the different camps?
Well, like what eventually, and again, this was I only had a little bit of background for
That's
this.
fair.
Because it wasn't super important. I just had to give them bullet points.
But you got the idea in your head. That's
Yeah, like
fine.
they quantum leaped into the world themselves. I give them bullet points. It's fine. But so the idea is that as technology went along, and this is before 20 came out. The Kickstarter was still going on, and I always had a disconnect. There was always a disconnect to me for how we can protect cairns in a world of Google Earth. And so as that gets worse, obviously there became a faction of the Glass Walkers who embraced that shit. Kind of like how we had Bangarang plug himself in, quote unquote. they started doing that shit.
They started matrixing.
Yeah, basically. Now we're in the satellites and we can control them by integrating with Weaver tech.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, it's so like these are your web wolves. They got like USB ports in the back of their necks and shit.
Holy shit.
And they're all like scrawny and emaciated, maybe have some cyber limbs because they're just... And no one likes or trusts them because they're prone to, quote, glitching out and getting Weaver possessed and turning on people.
Damn.
But we need them to keep the Weaver from dropping a tungsten rod from space.
A necessary evil. Then.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So yeah, you have that glass walker, and he's basically a skeleton with some robot parts, and he's throwing up. He's plugging himself in and then throwing up, and maybe there's some pattern spiders coming out of that too. And like while he's doing this, you got like 3 guards with guns to his head and like a clave to his throat, in case he shifts to Krynos and tries to murder everybody because the Weaver told him to.
Cool. Oh shit.
No.
And then the other half of that tribe took a step back and kind of became like Iron Riders 2.0.
Okay.
Said we're still going to use the technology, but we're going to stop at like 85. Nothing more advanced than a Game Boy. We got to be
so
reasonable.
we use old technology and do what we can.
Right.
Okay.
We're going to stop before nothing involving the internet. Everything before the internet's fair game. Clearly, this has gone too far.
I like it.
I like that scenario. That's cool.
I can see that happening too.
Right.
Oh, very easily.
Well, here's one. How about I don't want to talk about apocalypse scenarios too much because that's a different show.
Right, and we talked about the tribes, and yeah, that's pretty much just the different apocalypse scenarios.
Right. Like, I mean, if we're going to do that, that's the apocalypse episode.
Right.
And if we talk about it now,
Then we
and that's
lose
like
it
a third
later.
of the fucking book we can't talk about. So, whatever. But what about afterwards?
Like post-apocalyptic era.
Yeah, I mean, allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly, W5 takes place post-apocalypse.
Who's left?
Everything, apparently, because V5 exists, and it's like the normal world. So, right. So, like, I don't mean... Yeah, I know.
It's allegedly.
It's lots of allegedlys. But let's go beyond that. I mean, we're talking actual post-apocalyptic, like a Mad Max, like what happens?
So
Mad Max, like forget about what V5 is alleging,
yeah, well, so
that it
we're
was just a
looking
big fight and everything's fine, only maybe it's not, but...
So we're going to 2030 here then.
Sure.
Year 2030.
Garu win. Some way, somehow.
Well, at that point, yeah, that's... I don't think they I think win means postpone.
Pretty much. That's what I mean by win.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not winning.
So we're kind of at the same point we are, or... And I mean, we mentioned this, and I want to spend too much time with W5, but I can't ignore it. Something that I said in that episode, to where how they're talking about how the nation's allegedly fractured because they lost that battle, which never made sense to me. But what does make sense to me is if the Garu win that battle, the apocalypse is averted, it ain't going to happen, or maybe it is, but it's going to be another 100 years or whatever, we got this. We won the war. Well, then the nation goes, what do we do now? And you have 13 tribes, each saying something different.
Ah, okay. I see where you're going.
Right? You go, the Black Fears are like, well, we need to spread the wild and use this time to this. And the Children Gaia say, well, no, we could go with the humans and we could do this. And the Get Offenders say, no, fuck all that. We need to stay vigilant and do this. And everyone's got a different voice screaming about what the next step is. I think that's the thing that leads everyone to take their ball and go home. We don't have a unified mission anymore. We won. So now what do we do with our time?
Right.
Now, each tribe has a different goal and they're doing something different. I think that fractures the nation, not oops, we got beat up once. We're talking about the Garu. The Garu go, we got beat up once, we're going to get back and kick the shit out of you. Because Garu. But so I think that's a definite possibility for a post-apocalypse, is that's where you fracture the nation.
I see it. Yeah, everyone has their own agenda. And because Tribe 1 has this agenda, Tribe 2 doesn't like it because it conflicts with their agenda.
Right? Or it isn't even the same thing, so they're just going to do whatever they're going to do. Meanwhile, you have the Silver Fangs going, no, we're the leaders. And everyone going, leaders of what? The war's over, we won.
I was going to say that, but there's no more leaders, so what do the Silver Fangs have to do? Maybe it's
the war's not done. I mean, the war, that
Maybe
one
it's
war was done, but they're going to come back.
maybe now it's a civil war among tribes.
Well, that's the thing is I don't disagree with you, Tom, but I'm positing that the Garu Nation are that short-sighted that they would take that as a victory. We stopped the apocalypse clearly forever because we said so. And so clearly there would be tribes that go, no, this job isn't done.
Right.
But again, at the same time, because the looming threat of the apocalypse isn't there, so far as they know, they're all going to want to do whatever they want to do. They all have different ideas of what the next step should be.
There's still worm. There's still stuff that needs...
I'm not arguing that point.
That's why he's saying.
But I don't see tribes
Short-sighted.
not saying that. Like,
But that's why he's calling them short-sighted. The
Do
apocalypse
your
is
job.
over. We finished it.
do your guy in mandate. Keep going.
But then what is that?
That changes now.
I don't see you eradicating the whole worm.
Well, no, of
in
course
that
not.
fight.
No, of course not.
Of course not.
So I don't... The win is not a win. It's just to fight another day still.
No, if the decisive battle happens, we're talking the battle happens.
The apocalypse.
Not the long drawn out, apocalypse, but like the event type apocalypse. This is the war, the battle of fucking whatever, and the Garu win. Don't ask me what that battle looks like. Don't ask me how. It's not important to this right now. All right.
I think he's still stuck on that. I think that's the problem is you're still stuck on that part.
No, I'm not. I'm stuck on there's so much worm in the world that still needs cleansed or removed.
Certainly, but how do you go about it now?
Unite. Still keep going.
No. But how do you go about it? The Childagaya say we should do it this way. The Glass Walkers say we should do it this way. The Bonars say we should do it this way. Only the thing is the apocalypse isn't fucking looming on high anymore because we won that goddamn battle. So this is batting cleanup at this point. All these tribes with all these different methods and ideas about what to do and how to do it. I'm saying that fractures the nation. Painting you like assholes. Everyone's got one and theirs is the right one apparently.
Yeah, go hang out with the Beast Courts.
But you see where I'm getting at from this thing?
Now I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's still a lot of worm to eradicate, and there's still a lot to fight. But no one's going to do it the same way, because everyone's going to think their way is the correct way.
And if you think you just destroyed the head of it all, then this is just all remnants. You're just cleaning up. They're wrong,
Yes.
but that's
But
part of
we
the
know
beauty of
that
it. Yeah.
in game.
Again, they don't have the fucking player's guide,
They should. Just give them the book.
right?
That doesn't work like that.
It should.
Karuric, read this shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no.
Read this.
So yeah.
No,
short-sighted.
you're 100% right. Now that I see it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that fractures a nation. That gives you, and again, that leans more into territorial disputes. My enemy is now the other tribes, or even other breeds when they... I mean, that's always true, though.
Right.
And then again, you have the forces of the worm that are certainly weakened, but not... They're never... It's never going to be gone. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but now they're going to feed on you're torn apart, you're not united, and guess what? Apocalypse is happening sooner than you quick again.
Yeah, it's going to probably jumpstart it.
Oh, very easily, yes.
And think about this, too. That's ripe for another tribe falling. I mean, beating that horse again for a second. But if the nation is fractured,
Oh, yeah, another tribe falls.
it's a lot easier, at least, because they don't have everyone else to lean on.
Yes.
And that, of course, doesn't stop the Weaver either. I mean, it's entirely possible this battle happens. The worm is dealt a metaphorical blow and is weakened a bit, and enough that maybe the Weaver just rewraps those webs and tightens that shit up worse.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, yeah,
Making him more mad.
well, and also significantly, basically taking the worm off the table. Doesn't matter, though, because here's the Weaver,
Now there's another threat.
right? I mean, it's always been there, but hey, look,
Now it's
hey,
forefront.
dummies, right?
Yeah. Now, behind the scenes, it's a lot worse than originally anticipated. That's
Storm Malphys. Take
Or-
out the temple.
Or unite with the spirals and take it to the cyber realm, or a realm we don't know about.
Different. But then it's another can of worms.
Well, at that point, the enemy of my enemy.
Right, but then you win that battle, Worm is freed. Well, now you got to fight Worm again.
Well, do you? And again, now we go and talk about alternate scenarios. We talk about the husk.
That fourth, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
That thing I came up with way back then. Season 1, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we free the worm, and by freeing the worm returns to its original role, is the worm of balance. But that the skin that it shed to do so remains as the husk, and that's now our fourth faction of straight up corruption. And so now it's defending the wild and the worm against the Weaver and the husk. Because I mean, you set the worm free. You do that, and let's say it goes to its original position. It's still going to be weak as shit. It just spent how long?
Oh yeah.
With the fucking webs.
Eons.
Yeah. And again, we go with that idea of now the black spirals themselves are split. Those who follow the husk and those who follow the true worm.
I like that idea. Because that
no shortage of enemies, it sounds like.
Exactly. And I think that has the benefit of you could keep things the status quo or change them up as you feel necessary.
That almost goes with every scenario we've come up with, but yeah. I like this one the most.
Love how we never fight the wild.
Well, I mean,
you know what? We could talk that scenario.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's always the lesser of the three evils.
And yeah, we're working towards
not in Savage
balance.
Age. Well, which is another scenario. It's an alternate scenario. It's another alternate scenario. It's the Savage Age.
It's true.
That that pre/beginnings of the War Age. I mean, we've talked about Savage Age a lot. We're certainly not done with it. There's plenty of cool shit there, but let's remember that back then the wild is the larger problem. You're certainly not worried about Weaver taking over when like wheel is a concept we're iffy on.
It's just a concept at that point, yeah.
Squares.
Even that.
They work better.
Oh boy.
Except to be square. Now, you can't do that and expect me to not react the way I'm going to react.
You have to laugh, Tom. They can't see you. Hide your chuckles.
I'm not laughing.
Yes, you are.
No. Guy in his damn music quotes. Next episode will be movie quotes. Watch.
It could be. In fact, that would... never mind. let's not get all fucking time travel with folks here.
It's bad enough as it is.
Yeah. Joke's on you. The next episode aired 3 weeks ago.
Right.
2.
Depends on what day they're listening.
Ha.
Anyway, where were we going?
Well, we were talking post-apocalypse. I mean, obviously we did mention Savage Age. The wild being a threat, and again, lots of cool different shifters. We love our Savage Age.
Yes, we do.
But we were talking post-apocalypse scenarios, and so what about that Mad Max type of scenario? What if the apocalypse happened and it didn't end the world, but it fucked it up enough that we're in that post-apocalypse? We all know, we're.
Yeah.
So is there Veil at that point?
Or
have we united with the humans? And
I don't know if we united with the humans, but I think there's certainly not a Veil.
I was going to say, I think the Veil's gone.
Well, sure, but hopefully the humans have learned that we're the better side.
Of course, that's another scenario we could talk about, is when where the Veil is tossed out.
And when did that happen, and how bad was it?
And what does that mean for the world? What if in 1985... Fuck it.
Sure.
That's the year we choose.
Yeah, it was the year I pulled. Roger Daley goes on television and is like, what up? Here's the thing. We're the Gower Nation. Here's who we are. Fucking buy a Coke, catch the wave. Join us. Because the worm's fucking... It's no good, dude. We're the Gower. We're bodacious. Join us. It's hurting for 80s lingo. Just trying to keep in the time period.
And anyone who's not a
bogus.
kinfolk...
That's what I was looking for. The worm's bogus.
Bogus. Anyone who's not kinfolk, or they have no fucking clue what he's going to be talking about.
Well, he's telling them what he's talking about. That's the purpose here.
Right, but they're not going to have any idea. They're not going to believe him.
Maybe
That's
not.
what many more episodes of his show is for.
Or whatever, right? However that goes about. But yeah, what if you do that scenario? Where somewhere in the 80s. And I want to say in the 80s or so, not because I'm thinking you should run that as a period game, but maybe it's better to take that point there and then go, okay, well now it's 20 years later, it's 30 years later, what does the world look like where we are trying to clue humanity in and get them on our side? What does that look like 10, 20, 30 years later?
I see the worm pushing harder.
I think that's entirely possible. I think also maybe, because it can go either way, maybe things are getting a little better for the wild. Maybe that if you can get humanity to believe and to side with, right?
They would take better care of.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if you invented some rights or something that would hold back the delirium, for example, and go, we're here and we're here to protect the planet and we're here to help you.
I can see that.
Does humanity start to look eventually, not right away?
Well, no, definitely not right away.
Which is why I advocate, you know, like
The
you have it
80s.
set in the past and then you play the modern day or closer to. But maybe humanity starts to look at Garu essentially like real life superheroes.
I see a lot of them still falling, a lot more falling to the worm.
I think that's entirely possible too, certainly.
What, humans?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And even
And
Garu at
Pentex
that
will
point.
do their best. So.
Oh yeah, a lot of smear campaigns, but all of a sudden, you can look at what's happened with different groups of people in our world, in terms of, or like that fucking show True Blood. Not a huge fan of that show, but you know, that idea of, you know, well, werewolves are people too. You're fighting for werewolves' rights, and suddenly they don't have the right to vote, or they do, and this is something that I don't think the government give a shit about at all. But it's about acceptance in the public arena.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have like the Glass Walkers and maybe the Silver Fangs who are working PR for the nation.
Ooh. Yep.
You know,
then
Cairns.
they go in that
Shadow
two
Lords
different
were
ways.
Doing that too.
Oh, sure. And then Cairns, you know, they become like, I mean, even the ones that aren't in national parks, but become like national monuments or reservations. Be considered that by the government, because now the government knows werewolves are real, right? And if they're not, if they're public, you know, and trying to like work with humanity, you can't just go roll the tanks in, right? Not when you've got Jonas Albrecht on fucking Oprah.
Mm.
You know, you can't roll the tanks in at that point. Not in America.
No.
You know, Evan Heals the Past is, you know, with Tom Brokaw on the news. It's too public eye. So then you have that kind of political struggle to dehumanize the Garu.
I just saw that in my head while he's wearing the bear shirt.
Oh, Jesus.
That's fucking cool.
Fucking put Norman Schwarzkopf and Gogo Fangs first in a room together.
No.
There'll be a room left.
Stupid human. Should have listened to me the first time.
Fucking put cameras in your war effort, you moron. Go to the Amazon, I'll show you how it's done. Give me 2 of those stealth bombers.
Throws them like kites.
But then you get Pentex taken in that PR war.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they'd be all over it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's bizarre, and it's very removed from werewolf.
Yes, but
That's
cool
what we're
to think
doing.
about, right.
We're talking
But
alternate.
that's the picture you'd have to paint if that happened.
Right. You know,
Especially in the time frame you gave.
And how does Pentex spin it?
Oh, well, first of all, you lead on the Black Spiral Dancers,
Oh, big time.
who, of course, are still having that working relationship with Pentex.
Yeah.
You know, what does your Janie the housewife...
Like, we're werewolves too, and we're for this side. So.
Right. And, like, what sides? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No, they're very much like, we're all here for Earth. We're all here for each other.
And then Pentex sends a pack of spirals to, like, you know, fucking rip up a small town or something. Or, like, go berserk at a Starbucks. Yeah, they're all werewolves, right? What's the difference?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what I was
there'd be
thinking.
so
That's why
much
I said
smearing.
that.
So much smearing, it'd be rough. It really would be rough. And I just see a lot more humans armed against the Garu.
And I think it definitely...
I see Pentex winning that.
I think maybe ultimately. But if we're talking alternate scenarios, isn't it interesting to be a part of that as it's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think that's the interesting part.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's the
you
part
could
you should do.
You could have chronicles upon chronicles of that.
Right? You know, there's no veil, so people know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You get volunteers. Here we go. You look at Werewolf Carl's Revenge, Earth Blood of More Blood.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the video game. Where all those, like, random dudes are just in a cairn for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the Lambda the sorority?
Mankind or something like
Yeah,
that.
whatever, yeah. They're just random people who are in a cairn. But see, now, that's like Greenpeace.
Mm-hmm.
Or even PETA.
The Red Cross.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
This is a group of citizens volunteering to help preserve the planet. The werewolves are our friends. And in the meantime, you have those other groups, something like Fear, for example, who would be like, they are a menace, they're not human, they have to be destroyed. I guess would be more akin to your Second Inquisition, actually. Which is something that's going on in V5, so there you go. There's a little connection you could play there. These are monsters. These aren't human. They, abominations, mockeries. We got to get rid of them. So you have, it's dividing humans, some for the better, some for the worse.
Which is still why I see Pentex and Worm winning that, because they can even spin it with those type of people.
Well, ultimately, I think you're right. But
they would definitely send in sacrifices for those reasons.
Oh, for sure.
But if these are the games if you're playing that alternate scenario, they're not winning right away.
Mm-mm.
I mean, that's part of the game.
You win, the game's over. So
Exactly.
The game hasn't ended. Game's still going, so no one's winning.
That's all I'm saying. Or you look at and again, we talk back to the Mad Max kind of stuff. Humans broken into tribes. I think that's a scenario where you can go to the wild. Or if everything's destroyed, right? If building of cities are ruins and people are just roaming deserts and plains and shit trying to get by and hunt for food, that's primed for a wild takeback.
it's true.
Big time. And is that good or bad?
Well, it's
part of the Wild's mantra.
right. It's what it is. It grows.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it grows. It consumes. And so now you're in a situation where the remaining Garu that are left, and you could have some fun with that, and combine tribes. I mean, the apocalypse happens proper. Most aren't getting out of it.
Right.
So let's say if there's just for shits and grins 1 million Garu in the world pre-apocalypse, maybe there's 100,000 post-apocalypse.
Okay.
Split that between every tribe.
Right.
If not all, some were eradicated.
And then suddenly...
You have 2 or 3 tribes banding together to make a different tribe.
Yes.
You got Bonars, you got Glasswalkers.
The Bone Walkers,
Yeah.
for example.
You have the Wild... you have
The Getafiana.
You get a Fianna and the Talons and the Furies.
The Black
Fianna
Red.
Fenris.
Black
The Fianna Fenris.
Something like that,
Just spitballing there, but yeah.
The Black Red.
And then you have Stargazers. No, I guess
The Grayish Talons.
Stargazers and
How about the Black Stargazers when they team up with the Black Spirals?
Ooh.
oh fuck off. But yes,
But yeah, you can see that.
At that point, yes, the Spirals are the enemy, but the worm, now freed, now post-apocalypse, isn't the enemy.
right.
Shadow Striders.
Thank you.
Neat.
That's
Oh,
what
I
was
like
thinking.
that. That's good.
That's exactly what fuck. So can't do it.
And of course,
So that's
Silent Lords or Shadow Striders.
I like Shadow Strider.
Yeah,
That's
Shadow
nice.
Striders, yes.
But again, the Weaver's not the threat either because everything's a fucking desolate wasteland. There's not even fucking electricity anymore.
Yeah, she's just going, what?
Right? Shit, I lost too.
Right.
I didn't see that coming. I should have had a hierarchy of people that would help me do my bidding. It's weird that I didn't.
And then there's still just the Silver Fangs because they refuse
Oh, of course.
to believe anyone is just as strong as they are.
If they survived at all. Maybe there's
true,
5
but
silver
I'm
fangs
just-
left.
Possibly.
But that's the thing is you can do whatever you want.
Right. That's just what was in my head at that point. It's like,
No, I
they
get
refuse to believe anyone's as strong as they are, so how dare you think you can combine with us?
Yeah, right? The Falcon would never allow you peasants in here. I can't breathe poor people there.
Where's the Silver Crown go at that point?
Well, it's
Nowhere.
Only
lost.
5 left, so it'd be lost
Elbric's
forever.
dead, yeah. Because
Well,
again,
what if he survived?
then I guess he's got the crown. But if not, it just melts people. So
Fair.
That's a different scenario.
that'd be neat. Shit, that would be neat.
Well, are the crown's still around?
Well, it's going to be still around. It's like a legendary goddamn fetish. The crown, the silver crown, isn't going to go anywhere. Unless you do some dumbass voodoo, it should still be. But you have this section, you have this land, this monument at this point called Elbric's Fall. That's where he died, and the crown is there, like the fucking sword in the stone. And you have all these Garu on pilgrimage to put the crown on to prove that they're the one true king now. And they
Nope.
just melt
They just,
left and right because they're not worthy.
Huh.
That would be
Okay.
one, yeah.
I like that one.
Right? It's on a tree stump. and then, and then like they have like the stone slab and glyphs, about Elbric's fucking achievements, Maybe
His
even have
battle
his,
all the way up to his fall.
yeah, maybe even have his clave, have Solemn Lord, the Grand Clave, fucking there in the ground too. And it's like, look, if you can wear the crown, you can get the clave, and you're the king.
Heavy as the head that wears the crown. Holy shit.
There would be thousands trying to.
Yeah, only, again, if you're not
Thinning
worthy.
the numbers even more.
Yeah, if you're not worthy, that crown kills you. So it's just like a pile of gibs and skeletons.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. It was just the pile of bones just keep stacking up.
Imagine the menace they have cleaning that shit up. It's the
Hopefully
Silver Fangs, It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's like a menace with a kinfolk as his boss.
I like that one's a good one. That one's good.
Damn it, Suckpaw, clean those quicker.
Fucking sword in the stone, like kind of thing.
I mean, it
Wow.
seems a little...
It seems way too possible.
Right?
Shit, that one's good.
Because that's what the nation would need, so that's what everybody would be looking for, is to become the new king.
Right, they clamor for that hope, for that uniting voice. Meanwhile... Over
Where's
in
the Margrave?
I was going to say, meanwhile in Shadowlord territory, there's this huge civil war going on with the tribes specifically the Shadowlords, over who the new Margrave's going to be.
If the Margrave even showed up and fell.
Oh,
Of course.
in this scenario, the Margrave's going to have to be dead.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't have to be, but I think it's more interesting if, the Shadowlords might be able to help and do some shit if they were following the fucking example the Margrave have left with his legacy, but now they're too busy infighting over who's going to take over that position.
Which totally would happen.
Absolutely. Like, it's so likely of a scenario, I'm not even going to discuss another one.
I think that's good. That's a good one.
Oh, this has been a fun time.
Yeah, wow, that last one. Holy shit, that one hit hard. That one hit hard.
Yeah, that might be fun.
There's still so many more you can sit there and...
Yeah.
We could sit here for hours.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
I mean, we can't, because we got other shit to do today.
Right.
But I said earlier, and I constantly have to say it and remind people, but like, send those in. Send those alternate settings and the other possibilities that you've ran in your games. Please send those in.
Where could they do that, Danny?
Our Discord, our email, our website, in the forums, all the above. Please.
I mean, personally, I prefer email because we can have that somewhere where we don't lose it.
Yeah,
because
we keep personal record on that way. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was talking to someone in Discord today. It's like, that's the reason they asked about the two wolves and the junk drawers. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, we send it in.
Yeah.
When we get enough stuff for an episode, we do it.
I mean, aggressively, everyone stopped sending stuff in, so we haven't had anything.
We also stopped bringing it up, so
fair.
Turnabout's fair play. I mean, oops.
True, but we've also had other episodes, and we look at this episode, we asked for suggestions.
Yep.
And again, we just like this one. This one got pushed in front of our little schedule here, so.
And that'll happen, like we won't.
It's a fun episode, though. I mean,
right?
Just listen to all the stuff we just sit here talking about.
Like, I want to run some of that shit for shits and grins, like a 2 or 3 parter or something.
Or just desserts. I'm totally happy with running one of those.
Maybe that's going to happen. Not today, though.
No, definitely not.
And actually, I think that's about our time. So, we want to thank you for listening, as always. Thank you for any and all support you can give us, because it does. Not only does it mean the world to us, but it helps us get out there for more people. And you know how we roll, guys. We're all about spreading the love and sharing this love for Werewolf, bringing more people in. Help. But on behalf of everyone here at Scratchin Wolf Studio, Tommy Dixon, Daniel Tyson, and myself, we want to say thank you for your support. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Keep your claws sharp. Head on swivel. We'll see you.